Okay, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Let's stay focused on the Blue Ridge City Council last night. Last night was the regularly scheduled meeting. Now, let's stay focused on this. Last night was the August 8th. That is the meeting that is at the same time, location, every month. Same time, same location, every month, that the citizens are aware of. And there was a lot of talk around town that there would be a second reading of the 3-hour parking ordinance. Now, let's get to the truth here for a minute, okay? The truth of that is last night's agenda did not have a second reading of the parking ordinance. Now, some city council members released yesterday saying fake news is going around that there's going to be a second reading of the city council at the city council of the parking ordinance for 3 hours, meaning the entire city would have a 3-hour parking limit. Now, this does not meet the smell test, okay? And I think what we have to do is we have to start here, and I know 30 minutes is not going to get it. I'm going to do a 10-minute segment at 9, and then I'm going to come back, and I think I'm going to keep working on this as long as we're productive. But this does not meet the smell test. Now, here's something, a vision I want to give you right now. I want to put this in with you. I want you to understand this. I want you to grasp this as nicely as I can put it. I have 3 empty chairs. Could you put that up? Okay. Now, this is 3 empty chairs at Blue Ridge City Council. Okay? And this is symbolism right here. These 3 chairs last night, they were empty. Okay? Members did not show up. Actually, 4 members, but there's a reason we have this picture of 3 chairs. Let's start there because I want to build on this, okay? There is a effort, and I know Blue Ridge is not the only city in the United States that this happens, but there is an effort to control a direction of the city, an effort to control it. It has financial gain involved. Some members are seeing financial gain out of it. I don't want to go into what other members may be seeing out of it, but one in particular has the opportunity of financial gain. Opportunity, okay? God knows every time I do this, their attorneys are standing by, watching, all right? Which, again, let me just say, I don't care. Don't get me confused with someone who cares. 3 empty chairs. And the reason I took the picture last night of the 3 empty chairs is because those are the 3 votes. Those symbolize the 3 votes. Now, something before we get into the 3-hour parking very far into it, let's keep in mind in those 3 chairs, leave it up because I want people to really look at those 3 chairs. One, if you're out there and you're a citizen of Blue Ridge, you're a voter in the city of Blue Ridge, a resident in the city of Blue Ridge. And by the way, isn't it interesting that residents of the city of Blue Ridge only matter, okay, on election year? We're not that concerned year 1, 2, and 3, okay? Year 1, 2, and 3, we're not that concerned. But election year, we love you. If you live there and you have a residence there and you got your family there and you're raising your family and you're paying the taxes in the city and you're paying the garbage bill and the sewer bill and the water bill, whatever you got to do there, we like you on year 4. The first 3 years, but year 4, you people are tops. So those chairs of city council belong to you, the citizens. You've heard me say that all too many times. They belong to you. You have chosen to have a mayor and 5 council members. You have. That's what you decided you wanted, to oversee your city. Now, some are asking for a city manager. That would be a change, maybe a welcome change. I don't know. Okay? Would have been nice this weekend, this past weekend, to have a city manager so that all of the back and forth over the water issue between a mayor, council members, or whatever, and who's really in charge would not have happened or would not be a problem. I think city manager could be something, a welcome, and it's actually suggested in the investigation that we'll talk about a little later that costed you, the citizens, $43,000, a city manager. So anyhow, the 3 empty chairs symbolizes the 3 votes. The 3 votes that 3 members have had for 3 years that have controlled the issues of the city. Now they found a piece of property to solve parking. Let me tell you something. You've heard me say all too many times, Todd and Lisa Peck, great people. Great people. They have a piece of property. Let me tell you what they had. They had a piece of property 3 years ago. They had a piece of property 3 years ago. That's what they had. They had a piece of property when Blue Ridge spent money to do engineering outside of City Hall, looking at the possibility of adding 100 and some parking spaces at City Hall in a parking building. Okay? The Packs had that property then. That property's been sitting there a long time. It's now a great location for 300 parking spaces. Now keep in mind, if Pac's property is a great location for 300 parking spaces, it was a great location last year for 300 parking spaces when we needed it. It was a great location 2 years ago when we needed it. It was a great location a year ago. It was a great location for 300 parking spaces about the time Councilwoman Angie Arp purchased the old cement factory there that borders that property. Very interesting. So let's go back to the 3 chairs. 3 chairs, 3 votes, control the city and have controlled the direction. They belong to you, the citizens. You vote them in, okay? You vote for them not to do their will, but to be there on your behalf for the best interest of the citizens, not their interest, yours. They're there to represent you. So let's go ahead and take that down. I'll leave it up. I'm sorry, leave it up. Now the 3-hour parking. Okay, let's go to, and I want to stay focused. I don't want to lose my temper, get all out there. I want to stay focused because the truth is, on July 11th, I have the agenda in front of me. Okay, and I have the agenda in front of me, and parking ordinance amendment first reading. Okay, parking ordinance amendment first reading. That was on July 11th. Okay, and as you go down through here, you go on down through here. You have a lot of Carter and Sloop invoices. And then you have the discussion items. And then you have Caesar talking about the parking update. Gene Holcomb talking about parking. So on and so forth. Bill Ryan, drainage, water, sewer on West Main. So this goes back July 11th. This is a 6 o'clock meeting at 480 West 1st Street. In City Hall, where the citizens are aware there's a meeting. Now, July 21st, they have to have a special called meeting. Now, I want to just say, because they talk about the special called meetings. So now July 11th they have a meeting. July 21st they had a special called council meeting at 9 a.m. in the morning. All right. Now this one, if memory serves me right, Mayor Whitener did not attend, and Rhonda Thomas did not attend this one, which they did have a quorum because Harold Herndon, Rodney Kendall, Bruce Pack, and Angie Arp attended, so they can have the meeting. Last night when Rhonda Thomas was asked, why didn't you guys attend this one? She said, you know, they have these special called meetings at 9 a.m. in the morning, and they don't consider if anybody has an appointment, a doctor appointment, has to be somewhere. They have these special called meetings. Now, They're not at the July 21st. I want to stay clear on this, okay? So here is what is important at the special called meeting, okay? EPD sewer plant regulations, all right? Maybe that could have been at a regular meeting. Bobby Davis, that was at the special called meeting. Flooding, they're talking about a flooding, okay, that had taken place. Building permits, downtown water line replacement, okay, downtown water line replacement and approval, adjourn. But at this time, they did talk spend an enormous amount of time talking about parking. We have the video, it's on there. It was not on this agenda, but they did spend a large amount of time talking about parking, okay? So if you got this agenda here, you do not get the impression that it's going to be a parking discussion, but go back to my July 21st special called meeting and see the parking. Now let's fast forward to August 8th, 1st. This is August 1st. Now here is the meeting that has everybody up in arms. Special called council meeting August 1st at 11 a.m. at 480 West Street. Now these are special called meetings, meaning these items cannot wait till the monthly meeting. They can't wait. We need to discuss these now, all right? So you remember the 3 chairs there have 3 votes. They've had those 3 votes for 3 years. Okay, so let's go back just briefly to the July 21st. Flooding is on the agenda. July 21st of 2017. I keep telling myself I'm not going to get upset. I'm going to stay with the fact that we're going to tell the truth. We're going to tell the damn truth. There's a difference. People out there claim to tell the truth. We're going to tell the damn truth today. That's what we're going to do because we have it right here. And we have the facts. We have the 3 chairs. We have the 3 council members. Go and look at their votes. Pull them up. Flooding. Guess what? 3 years ago, when those 3 chairs with 3 votes went into office and said, hey, I've got the picture. It's on their website when they took their oath of office. Okay? Ask these council members how many of them have attended training. How many? Ask them. See how many of these council members that want you to re-elect them. I want to know. Here's one of the criteria, and they may know it. They may have been to it. I want to know from every member of council, every member, not excluded one, and mayor, how many of them have gone to training, have been to any of the state training provided for council members and the mayor. I want to know that because actually that was one of the recommendations in the report, Gerard and Davis report, $43,000. So let me get back to this. 3 years ago, flooding. Downtown water line replacement project. Downtown water line replacement project phase 2. 3 years ago. Why is this on the agenda now? Why did they not do this 3 years ago when they had the opportunity? Why did they not address the drainage, the floods 3 years ago? Why not? Why this year? Because guess what? Residents matter in year 4. In year 4, all of a sudden, 1, 2, and 3, no. Year 4, yeah, you matter. All right, so let's go to back to August 1st, special called meeting. Okay, this is the August 1st. Again, this cannot wait. Parking ordinance amendment first reading. Parking ordinance amendment first reading. Now, I for one am going to tell you it's not, there should never be. There should never be. Over 100 and some people in that room this morning. The Secretary of State's office should be saying, whoa, wait a minute. The Department of Ethics, the Secretary of State, they should be saying, you know, hey, hey, we are flooded with the phones. Let me say something I shouldn't, because God knows if I am on very long, there's the opportunity for me to say something I shouldn't. I think right now, Secretary of State Brian Kemp, if that's the office that you may voice your complaints to, I'm not for sure, we'll check into that. I think he would be very responsive right now. Just saying. So, an ordinance, a city ordinance, first reading. Now, what they're going to tell you is this is not true. This is fake news. They went into this room. I have the video. You watch it. And they got to number 4, parking ordinance amendment. Okay? And here's where I think there is, what would I say, my words, extortion. If you look all the way down through here, there seems to be some extortion. You're going to play ball my way. You're going to do it my way. I'm going to make the decision, and the minute you don't like it, I will call another meeting, and just like that, reading 2 will happen, and just like that, the 3-hour parking. Now, they're going to come to you and say, no, we said that we will not put the 3-hour parking in until we have the other parking in place. Once you have the first reader, that's done. Now, if the first reading of this parking ordinance, if the first reading would have taken place last night, why didn't you have the nerve to show up? If it would have taken place last night, you would have had a room full. That's why they did not do it. That's why they slipped this into a special called meeting on August 1st, the first reading of the parking ordinance, because they knew as soon as the word got out that the first reading was done, that there would be outrage. Total outrage, and they want you to know, particularly Councilwoman Angie Arp wants you to know she holds that card, because she is the one that keeps writing up her reasons for existing and her reasons for existing to run Blue Ridge the way she sees fit, the way you should like it, and you're going to do it her way. It's pretty clear. You may look here and say, well, wait a minute. I don't think you should really focus on Councilwoman Angie Arp. Watch the videos, folks. If you're confused that she's going to run it her way, it's going to be her way, and it's going to happen the way she decides, or you can go and she doesn't care the cost. Oh, you're not watching the videos. So August 1st, first reading is done, okay? The PAC property and lease. Now, and storm drains. And storm drains. And city parks. You want to talk about city parks? You want to talk about the $60,000 that Blue Ridge wrote a check back to the foundation? I forget the name. I'll get it. You want to talk about the $60,000 that they wrote a check back? You want to talk about all the money they lost in grants in the last 3 years? All the opportunities they have. There was a guy stood up last night. What the hell? We can't even paint the bathrooms? Really? Storm drains. Storm drains. That was 3 years ago. Storm drains. PAC property and lease. Now here's what I want to get to. Yeah, the first reading of the parking ordinance. This is called the damn truth. This is just the damn truth, okay? The first reading of the parking ordinance. So they had a phone conversation. My understanding of sources say, because it's out there, they had a conversation, whether it be phone. And my understanding is Bo Chance. Here's what confuses me, okay? And this is not a dislike, and I don't want to hear it, all right? Because I'm going to be as polite to the guy as I've been since the day I met him almost 17 years ago when I moved here, okay? Bo Chance stands up, okay? And he does the 2020 group. Guess what the hell we have? We have the video, right? So he does the 2020 group. This group works hard. What is a 2020 group? looking 20 years back in Blue Ridge and looking 20 years forward, putting a plan together, getting a plan for the future. And guess what? I have the video, and Bo Chance goes to the podium and he does a major presentation. He lays it all out. He works for the group. He's the spokesperson. He looks up there, and Angie Arp says basically, no. No. Okay? Absolutely not. No. On the 2020 group. Okay? So, he gets shot down with the group. Now, he's in communication and negotiation with some people. Just say it. Working with them now. Angie Arp. Angie Arp shot him down 3 years ago. Not just him, the 2020 group. Now they're working together. So, supposedly, they had a discussion before the August 1st meeting with some people of the Blue Ridge Scenic Railroad, Patriot Rail. And when they had the discussion, I guess they asked Patriot Rail if they wanted to participate, in paying for the leased property. If they wanted to participate in paying for the costs or ponying up some money for the cost to get the PAC property ready for parking, and if they wanted to help with the lease, $2,000 a month, whatever, and we've got the list of how much it would cost to get the property up and running to get 300 parking spaces. And basically, this is basically what happens is they have this conversation, and the train says, you know, I don't know what they said. I don't want to say the Patriot Rail. They don't come to the table with money. So the very next day on August 1st, Miss Arp says something to the nature, it's on the video, well, you know, the railroad didn't pony up. They didn't bring anything to the table. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pass this first reading of the parking ordinance, and then we hold the last card. We hold the last card. We hold the card that says, you don't play ball my way. I call a special call meeting. I say parking ordinance second reading, and I tell Rodney Kendall and Bruce Pack, and we vote. And guess what? 3 hours. So you have a choice. Play my way or the highway. And that's Angie Arp. This is what is going on, whether you want to, a little maybe, God knows, maybe a little extortion, maybe a little, you know, playing chess there to see who makes the next move, maybe a little blackmail, maybe. I mean, you never know. You got to watch all the videos, put everything together, because this is not the truth. This is the damn truth of what's going on. Now, Angie Arp, the suave, intelligent businesswoman that she is, thinks nobody is looking. And I'm going to get into, let me show you a piece of property. I am so up to here with the PAC property. I love Todd and Lisa, can't say it enough. But guess what? That property, that 300 parking spaces was there. What about Ada Street LLC? Now, I understand, but Ada Street LLC, what about using theirs for parking? What about that? Huh? Maybe there's parking right there in town. I don't know. There's other options. Why do we have to hate? Why can't, you know, it's just like, you know, we are the world. Well, we need to do one of those, we are the world. We are Blue Ridge, and, you know, sing Kumbaya and everybody love each other or something, right? What the hell? Anyhow, I want to show, just show me Angie Arp's property. Give me a picture of that. This is Councilwoman Arp's property. This is her property. And we're going to talk about that after our next break. We're going to come back after this. We're going to have a segment. I'm going to have Alicia Edwards with me. We're going to change gears here. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate in North Georgia as soon as we come back. And then about 9:15, don't leave me at 9:15, we're going to finish this. We're going to finish this because I've about had it with what they're doing. And we're calling this segment, I don't know, maybe we should put it on the internet. People might get upset, but this is called The Damn Truth, all right? Because what about the corruption and the collusion? Or possibly. You got to throw possibly. I got to have a question mark over here, over there, because, but this is something I know. I interviewed a guy for 2 hours. I got a couple notes. I interviewed a guy for 2 hours. I got a couple notes. Maybe Councilwoman Arp was in on the $43,000 that was spent for the investigation. Maybe she was.Maybe there's some collusion there. I hope it's not Russian, because God knows one of them could be Russian. I'm your host, BKP. Stay with me. 9:15. We're going to stay on the damn truth. That's what it's going to be. Okay? Take us a break, Sam. Okay, I'm your host, BKP. We are back. North Georgia's only live online morning show. Some people have put out there concerning the parking, the 3-hour parking, that there was a meeting last night saying it was fake news. So I thought instead of just telling the truth, we'd tell the what I call the damn truth. I'm sorry, but you know. So here's the bottom line. Recapping. They have the card now. So what they're going to tell you is they're going to tell you that in let me get this foundation. It's the Roland Vaughn Foundation. The city of Blue Ridge wrote a check back for $60,000, not including what they did not receive. They still had more money coming. The Roland Vaughn Foundation. So don't forget, for 3 years, they've had 3 votes, and everything that they are trying to tell you now to solve parking, they have the first reader out of the way. Okay, they have that out of the way. So they do. So what their argument is today is we're not doing, now listen close, and which is what you're going to hear from Councilwoman Arp, we're not doing the second reader until we finish with the parking and the lease, okay? So when we get the lease done on the PAC property and we get that done, we'll do the second reader, and then Blue Ridge will have a 3-hour parking limit downtown, okay? And we'll have the parking lot. Now, interesting enough, I'm going to call out a couple things because we're going to get to the citizens. You want to stay tuned. We're going to get to the citizens for the concerned citizens of Blue Ridge. All right, put up the picture that says ARP view of the highway. Okay, ARP view of the highway. Now, this is Councilwoman Arp's property. Okay, and I'm standing there on her property. Oh no, I just admitted I was on her property. Wow. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe I just zoomed in. I don't know. I'm standing there in an area and I'm taking a picture. This is Councilwoman's part. And in the background, what you see is the Borden milk distributor building there. And between where I'm at, the picture, what you see in the picture, is the property that they want to put 300 parking spaces. Now, if you owned a piece of property, would it be nice to have your property and then the city build you 300 parking spaces? Now, that will be argued, but the facts are in the picture. So the second is let's look at co-op. Go to ARP co-op. It says co-op. Okay, now this is looking down off Main Street there. This is from the, if you're looking at the property on the right hand side of this picture, this is the PAC property that they're going to turn into parking. Okay, and you can see where it's at. It's down from the co-op. So if you go down from the co-op coming out of the city, on the left is where this parking is. All right, go to the one that says train, ARP train. Okay, now this one here, what you're going to notice on Councilwoman Arp's property, okay, on one view, there's the train tracks. So, and what you see up there where the telephone poles are, that's Ada Street. So she would have a really tough tough time getting access over those train tracks to Ada Street. She could do it, but when you want to cross railroad tracks, that's a tough one. But she could do it. So she's kindly locked by those train tracks, okay, going to Ada Street. So then if you go to, like I had view of the highway, hold on, don't go back to that yet. Let's go to the one that says, yeah, let's go. Yeah, you got the co-op down there, right? We got that one. And go to the one that you say says right away. All right, is that the one? All right, now this one here is a picture of the right away. Because keep in mind, the other side you have a nice shot there to Ada Street, but you got the railroad tracks. So what Miss Arp needs, Councilwoman Arp needs, is a nice right-of-way into her property. So you see that gate and you see that little road? Well, all the kudzu you see in front of that gate, that's the parking lot. That's the new parking lot for the city of Blue Ridge, the PAC property, for 300 spaces. Now, if you're a developer and you see the building back there, you see that gate, that's Councilwoman Arp's property. So this property's here 3 years ago. This property has had the ability to alleviate the parking problem for 3 years, okay? Now that there's a crisis point and people want parking, are you ready to put your head in the sand and not realize the day they sign that lease, the city signs that lease, they escalate, her property value goes up? How would you like to have... How would you like to? They keep talking about the train, and they keep talking about providing parking for the Blue Ridge Scenic Railroad. How would you like to have a 300-space parking lot with a little park attached to it, picnic area, and a 300-space parking lot that is walking distance? Do you realize from Angie Arp's property, think of what she can do now if you bring her 300 customers to her door, okay? What could she do with that property? That'd be nice. What if the walk to whatever she builds on that property, once they open that parking lot, will be a shorter walk from you getting out of your car, or as equal to at Walmart and walking in the front door? So I'm going to say it like this. These are my words. I don't see where the city should spend thousands of dollars, number one, $25,000, let's just say $25,000 to clear a piece of property, put in the area of 300 parking spaces, okay? Put a right-of-way. Once you open the right-of-way to Miss Arp's property, you can't close it. Oh, no, no, no. This is right to the road. She will have awesome access. It'll be commercial access to her property. So once you do that, she could take where that building is, she could doze that property down, she could pop up motel. Now, I'm not saying she will. She could pop up restaurants, she could pop up shops, and guess what? She will have command of 300 parking spaces. 300. So here's what my opinion is happening. You have parking ordinance 1 for 3 hours has already went through the first reader. She holds the card. She knows the train has to have a plan B. They have to, okay? So either the train can help put this in place for the city, or everybody can get on board and say, oh, let's do this for the good of the city, and let's take this property and turn 300 parking spaces in. And the very minute you don't play games or you don't come to the table with Miss Arp, that second reading can hit an agenda, and you have badly confused if you think they care. So they hold the second reading card. End of discussion. The second reading card on the parking is there. End of discussion. Miss Arp's property. I do not understand. If you're out there this morning and you're not outraged, and you stick your head in the sand and just say, oh, 300 parking spaces, it's great for downtown, it's great for this, it's great for that. Well, guess what? For 3 years, they could have turned that into parking. For 3 years with 3 votes. Seriously, folks, I, for one, do not believe, if you'll go and look at when Miss Art bought this property, if you'll go and look and see, I'm just going to say, why don't you do the research and get back to me and see if she bought this property after she became a city council member. See if she did. Just see if she bought the property after she became a city council member. See if she's owned it for a couple years, 2 years, 3 years. See if she was in office when she purchased this property. And then what are you getting ready to do? You're getting ready to invest $25,000 of your money to clear this lot, to create 300 parking spaces to benefit her? Really? Really? Is that what we've come to? That you're going to spend more of the citizens' tax money to come up with 300 parking spaces to enhance her property? I'm going to take a break because what I want to do is I'm going to end on that $25,000 right there to clear this property out, to build 300 parking spaces, to increase the value of a council member's property that's joining it. And I'm going to take a break because I want to come back because I want to talk about the concerned citizens of Blue Ridge and the Fannin cartel. So Sam, take us a break, and when we come back, we're going to move into concerned citizens of Blue Ridge. We might bring Johnny Searcy's name up. We might. Chief of Police, stay with us. Take us a break, Sam.